How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Poppy Wolf, and today we're going to be talking about why do I love anime. And this is going to be episode one of me doing like anime talks and me talking about periods of, time periods where like I really was into anime and time periods where I really was not into anime. And then you guys would be thinking like, what? You weren't into anime? Yep, there was a time I wasn't, and we're going to be talking about that right now, shall we? Let's jump right in. Boom. Anyways, guys, so back in the day, I really liked to watch like Dragon Ball Z. I really liked Pokemon. I really liked Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, and stuff. And at the time, I don't really think I noticed that it was anime. But what I did notice watching anime at a young age was these cartoons were more mature. These cartoons they weren't afraid to tackle adult things. They talked about dying. They talked about love. They talked about romance, betrayal, and a lot of this kind of stuff really wasn't apparent in like cartoons like Ed and Eddie, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Johnny Bravo, Camp Lazlo. Like a lot of this stuff was just very like slapstick comedic humor or very like situational humor. Like it wasn't very. I would say they never introduced like heavy adult themes. If they did, it was small little stuff they shrugged over. But I think anime like cartoon like when I at the time I called them cartoons, these type of cartoons were very they really spoke on these matters. Like I remember watching Yu-Gi-Oh when Yugi, this is during a filler arc of course, loses Yami, or when Yami uses Yugi sacrifices his soul. That way Yami doesn't become evil or doesn't go into that dark path. And it's that kind of scene where like dang, he lost his other half. And I remember thinking at the time like this is dark. We lost somebody. Or when Seto Kaiba was threatening to kill himself because if Yugi beats him, he doesn't get to see his brother, and he'd rather die than that. And he uses suicide as a kind of thing to lull over him. The conviction that Seto Kaiba has in that moment, I remember thinking like, damn, he really is gonna jump. This man will rather die than lose, because if he loses, he doesn't see his brother, and to him, that's everything. That's his life. I, there were just so many moments like that in anime for me, and honestly, I enjoyed them. I didn't enjoy the fact that he was gonna kill himself. Let me put that disclaimer out right there. But I did enjoy the adult themes that these cartoons at the time for me were showing, and as I grew up, I kind of noticed that more. Like I loved watching Dragon Ball Z as a kid. I never knew why I liked watching like these type of cartoons on Cartoon Network. Around a certain time block, they'd show Dragon Ball Z, they'd show Dragon Ball, they'd show Gundam G Fighters, Zoids, Sailor Moon, Cyborg 009. They'd show a bunch of these cartoons, quote unquote, and a lot of these cartoons tackled different issues that cartoons that I watched in the morning and at night sometimes didn't. They were tackling fighting a villain who will kill you. They were going through romances that made them think maybe I shouldn't do this. They were tackling themes that I never thought about. In Gundam G Fighter, the Domin, I can't remember the character's name, but his brother creates the very monster that kills his family. He wants to kill his brother. The fact that his brother betrayed him makes him so angry that he unlocks a certain power that he vows to use it against his own brother, Kyoshi. His own master that was like a second father to him is also in league with this villain. In Dragon Ball, Goku is learning how to be a martial artist, and he keeps meeting opponents who have no who don't bat an eye to killing him or his friends or anything of the sort. All this kind of made me as a kid think, wow, this isn't a game sometimes. This world isn't always a game. And a lot of that really made me think. At a young age, I was thinking these big thoughts of death, betrayal, love, romance, all these adult themes. I wouldn't say traumatized me, but they did get me to think. Now you might be thinking, is that a good thing or a bad thing? In general, the conversation of it is a good thing. because you never know where that's gonna go. It opens up so many doors of ideas, of like not romance or anything, but like what is romance? It asks the question, what is betrayal? How can you get over betrayal? Is it worth getting over betrayal? A lot of that kind of really made me think as a kid, and I don't hold it against anime at all to make me think that way. Now, a lot of things that happen in anime are very, there's a lot of, how do I put it, for lack of a better word, exaggerated tragedy that happens to the main character. But at the end of the day, if you take off the exaggeration, the hyperbole of their life, you kind of realize they're no different than you. And there's no better example than Naruto. And when I first witnessed Naruto, I was around, I want to say 9 years old. I remember watching at my tia's house. It was like the first episode. It was taking over the Dragon Ball GT block. And I remember watching that this kid no older than me, was feeling a failure of his life. He was a loser. He wanted attention. And he always thought that everybody resented him and hated him. But when his teacher takes that giant like Staryu, that Staryu with like the giant shuriken in the back for him, and gives a whole speech that how Naruto, yes, he's annoying, yeah, this and this and that. He sees so much potential in him. He sees a lot in him, and he really hopes that he, becomes great in his own life. And seeing Naruto cry because he finally got that admiration, he finally got the attention that he's always wanted, he finally heard those words that he's always desired to hear, kind of makes you think, damn, like I think on a lower scale, that's something I've always wanted as a kid. I wanted my father or one of my mother to say something on the lines of like, as much as he's got like a lot of like, maybe he's got this wrong, maybe he's not the smartest, maybe he's not the most handsome, maybe he's not this, but he's still got a lot of potential. And I think that any kid can relate to that kind of stuff. I think that's what really that's the big allure of anime to me, is that kind of, if you scale them down to you find that you're no different than these characters. It's very comforting knowing that there's a character that you can look up to, that if you put him in your, like, you can kind of compare, like, maybe you don't have this, like, maybe you don't have a demon in you, but you feel like you're ostracized for unknown reasons. Like maybe your brother didn't kill your family, but maybe you did lose somebody in your family that was important to you, and you feel disassociated like Sasuke, where you feel cold and callous, like stuff like that. I think that's what anime really kind of grabs on. I use Naruto a lot for examples because that's like, I did grow up with Dragon Ball Z, but it's hard to relate to some of those characters. I think the only character in Dragon Ball Z I could kind of relate to was Gohan, this kid who always felt weak, but he always wanted to preserve his self-sanity and self-control, because he always felt if he loses control, that's it. He doesn't get to be the same person he was, and he feels like if he opens that door, there's no closing it. Like I said, anime does a lot, and I mentioned these two big ones there, even though a lot of people would call them like the poser ones, but for me, this is what I grew up watching. I really do appreciate a lot of like what anime's done, and how even when watered down, they never water down the values. I mean, for example, in Yu-Gi-Oh, the dub, for lack of a better word, does a lot of shielding. They do a lot of censoring. For like one instant, they don't call hell, they call it the Shadow Realm, but it still feels just as real as losing somebody, because you're losing them to death. Another example would be Pokemon. This is a fantastical adventure that you think, but there's this real world element to it, with understanding that only through hard work and training and practice can you truly achieve great things, and can you truly, even if you lose, you still have a chance to keep winning. You still have a chance to keep going forward and doing better. I mean, Ash Ketchum never won a Pokemon League until Sun and Moon, and that's like what, 8 seasons of him losing. It's that kind of idea that makes me think, there's a lot of good qualities you can pull from anime. Now, there's a lot of toxic ones too, but we're not going to talk about the toxic. We're going to talk about the positive, because I'm a positive person. And I think the allure of anime has always been that it has a message to give, and it has a inspirational one at that. It's just never stop trying, keep going forward, and that's that's more prevalent in the animes today, such as like Black Clover and My Hero, and what else is out? What is Jujutsu Kaisen? Like sometimes you have to keep going forward, and you have to keep moving. You have to be strong, and even if that means you have to be strong as well, and you have to get stronger, be strong, keep going forward. And I think that message is something that we all could vibe with, and just never giving up on yourself, and remembering that the journey only stops when you stop. So yeah. Thank you so much. This is like a little love letter to anime, and why I love it so much, and why, like, for me, like, what makes me love watching it. It's usually that very message of keep going forward, don't stop, and remember, like, life only stops when you stop. And I think that's something that anyone who even doesn't enjoy anime can take away. That message itself is such a strong message that makes you think, like, damn, you know what? I don't want to stop. I want to keep going no matter what. Whether I end up in a bad situation or a good situation, as long as I keep going forward, I won't feel lost. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe to the channel as well if you enjoy the content. Tell me your guys' own anime, stories. Like, how did you get into anime? What is something anime's done for you? Because I really enjoy reading that kind of stuff, and I would love it if you would post it on my channel. Anyways, guys, this is your boy Poppy Wolf saying peace.